Okay, well, welcome. This is Yoga for Cancer, and I'm Rebecca, and I am delighted to be here. I just announced that I'm having some internet instability today, and so we'll do the best we can and hope that we can get through this. So, oncologists recommend yoga. I was trained by Tari Prinster, who founded Y4C, Yoga for Cancer. And on her website, she has really been starting to call this practice Oncology Yoga. And I'm guessing that it's to legitimize it in the minds of people and the medical professionals. So it's getting noticed. Oncologists recommend yoga. Along with the American Cancer Society and the US Department of Health and Human Services, they recommend 150 to 320 minutes of yoga per week to speed recovery and defend against recurrence. And they recommend an active yoga practice. Yay, strong practitioners. So Cancer Support Community has several options, and of course the videos. If you're not aware that there is a video library that you have access to through Cancer Support Community, please check that out, because you can repeat a class, you can do a different class than the one that you've been attending. So there are options. And I teach other classes, not through Cancer Support Community, but on my own and through Decatur Yoga, where we used to meet in person almost a year ago. And I do private sessions if anyone needs a personal touch, a one-on-one. So you can always stay after the class and get my information if you want to talk about any other options or recommendations that I have. And wait, what is your question, Ruth? How many hours per week did I say? 150 to 320. So at least, 2.5 hours a week minimum? So there you go. And last week we talked about creating a home practice and what that would look like. And yes, of course, you don't need a class to do yoga. You just need a practice. And so think about that. I can also help you with creating a home practice if you would like to do that. And make a plan to get your active yoga on. You've shown up to class, that's the first step. So I'm delighted you're here. Let's begin seated. Take a moment to find your seat, really feeling the floor beneath you, the ground beneath you, whatever is beneath you. Feeling the space around you, the light, the air, the breeze, whatever is in your space. And then begin to bring that attention a little more in, maybe closing your eyes or taking a soft gaze. And a soft gaze just means that you sort of let your eyes unfocus. And you're looking down, but not really seeing anything in particular. So, eyes closed or soft gaze. Begin to notice what your sensory units, your sensation is telling you. Feeling the ground beneath you. I can feel the squishiness of my mat on top of a hardwood floor. I feel the firmness of my meditation bench under my sits bones. I'm aware of the temperature and the tickle in my throat. Feel the weight of your hands in your lap. Can you feel the heat from your palms on your thighs or wherever the hands have landed? Can you feel the fabric or skin that's underneath your fingertips? Take a moment to notice sound. What do you hear in your space beyond the sound of my voice? And notice if it's close by or if it's something you can hear at a distance further away. Let's take a moment. And then turn your attention even more deeply inward to your own breath, noticing the sensation of breath in your body. Where do you feel the breath? Do you feel it at the entrance point at your nose or mouth? Do you feel it at the fullness point, wherever that may be, in your heart center or low belly? Do you feel it more as it's leaving your body? There is a breath, a pranayam that we use in yoga that is called Ujjayi, and it means victorious breath. And it is the sound of the ocean. It's the sound of Darth Vader, if you like. And to access it, we give the instruction to make the sound like you're trying to fog a mirror. So try that. And then try to make that sound with your mouth closed. So you're expelling the air through your nose and the sound is happening in the back of your throat. So like this. Can you make this sound of Ujjayi breath just loud enough so that it reverberates in your own head? Can you fill your head with the sound of Ujjayi, just gently constricting the back of your throat so that it makes a sound as you inhale and exhale through your nose? To me, it's the sound of a sigh, that but again, made through your nose. So Ujjayi breath is, stop if you're practicing. Ujjayi breath is something that we use in yoga to stay present. We are aware of each breath because we hear it even louder inside of our own heads. It reverberates a little more inside. And I didn't first learn yoga with Ujjayi, but it came to me pretty soon after the practice that I now practice, and I always use it. We don't teach it as much because it can make your throat dry. Sometimes people work too hard to do it. But if it's something that feels comfortable to you, bring it in at some point during the practice. I'll try and cue it with my own breath and see if it's something that helps you to create focus. When I teach this in the room, I will say, make it loud enough so your neighbor can hear it. And then I'll say, now rein it back in and make it soft enough so it's just for you. So keeping that in mind, let's continue with our sun breaths. We'll use this version, inhaling and floating the arms up. Let the palms come together. As you exhale, draw your hands to heart center. Release and continue. Inhaling up, palms meet. Exhaling down. Now let's add the head. Inhale and look up towards your fingertips. As you exhale, allow your chin to come down with a little tuck. Inhaling up, looking up, and exhaling down, chin to chest. Now, begin to slow this down and move at the pace of your breath. So it takes the whole exhale to come to heart center and the whole inhale to fill up with breath. Let's do 5 more. And after your 5th or so exhale, pause right here and allow the breath to return to your natural breath. If you were trying the Ujjayi breath, just notice what effect it may have had. And then we'll continue. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, lower the right and come up and over with the left, finding a long side bend. If the reach overhead is not good for you today, bend your elbow, fingertips to shoulder, or even keep your hand on your hip and still get this sense of the opening. Use an inhale to come up and over to the other side. Stay for a couple of breaths. With the exhales, you can bend a little more. With the inhales, try to open up the side body. And then use an inhale to come up and over. Let's take one breath, one extra breath on each side now, and then inhale and switch as you come over. And once more to each side. And inhale and come back to center. We'll move to twists. Inhale to grow tall. Exhale, bring left hand to right knee and right hand behind you. You're already partially twisted. Inhale to grow tall and then exhale and twist, looking towards the right shoulder. Inhale, your hands can come up if you like, and exhale to the other side. Inhale to create space and then exhale and twist. Use the breath, use the body, but don't crank yourself around with your hands. Use the inner body, the musculature, to create that twist, moving just as far as your body wants to go with just that amount of motivation. And again, once more to each side, and we'll move on together. And this or the next time that you come through center, pause here. We are going to move on to some work in tabletop. I know that hands and knees is not great for all of you. So if you'd like to start seated, we'll start with some cat-cow, and you can certainly move through that seated. We will be moving into some lunges. You can decide at that point if you want to move to the floor or if you want to stay in your chair and work with your lunges by turning to one side and to the other. So if you're coming down to hands and knees, Make sure that you have something underneath your knees. I use this bit of yoga mat. And then find your tabletop, knees underneath your hips. Bring your hands down under your shoulders with your index fingers parallel to each other. Then spread your fingers wide from there. If that feels bad on your wrists, then come up onto your knuckles with your thumbs facing forward, or even onto forearms, whatever feels best. If you're seated, sit up nice and tall, and we'll move into cat-cow. Inhale and raise tailbone and crown, soften the belly. As you exhale, tuck the pelvis, draw the belly in and up, and release the head. Press the floor away gently. Inhale and start the movement from the pelvis. Let it flow up the spine. Exhale, same instruction. Move the pelvis first, and the rest is like a ripple. So take your time moving through cat and cow. And this or the next time that you come through neutral pelvis, pause here. Let's work to extend your left leg. You can keep your toes down. You can raise the leg up to hip height. If you're seated, you can extend the leg out in front of you. Stay here, creating strength in the body, or add a reach with the opposite arm, adding balance to your strength work. Stay here, building strength, or inhale, reach long, and then exhale and draw knee and elbow towards each other. Inhale, reach, and exhale in. Two more. Last one. Come back through center and take a moment to wiggle waggle yourself. Comfortable, and we'll move to the other side. I have to adjust something, but you guys keep going. Reach the right leg behind you, toes down, or leg lifted, finding that strength in the inner body. And then maybe you'd like to add the opposite arm. Reach long, and then maybe you'll add the crunch, bringing knee and elbow towards each other. And last one here, and come back to center. Bring your knees a little wider apart, toes together, and exhale, settle your hips towards your heels, and then walk your hands out, relaxing your head down towards the mat. If the mat is far away, you can stack your hands or your fists, or even use a block or cushion just underneath your forehead. If you're seated in a chair, bring your forearms to your thighs and come into a gentle forward fold. Take 3 more breaths here, filling up the back body, feeling the expansion of the low back, the middle back, even between the shoulder blades, and the long, slow exhales to release a little more into the ground. And on your next inhale, remove the block if you're using one, and walk your hands a little further forward. We're going to come up, bring your knees in a little, and then press your hips forward, coming into a knee down plank. So what I don't want is this, dropping your hips. I want you to keep that long spine and lots of engagement in your belly. Inhale here and then exhale and press back towards your child's pose. Inhale, come forward, up and over your hands, and exhale, press back. Two more here. This is very good for building bone density. This is that, resisted pressure that we're looking for. And then walk the hands in. We're going to move into a knee down lunge sequence. So if you're in a chair and you'd like to move to your knees, great. If not, then turn sideways on your chair and work with your lunge in that way. If anybody needs more instruction than that, if you're seated in a chair, will you unmute and let me know, and I will give you that instruction? Otherwise, take your blocks or whatever you're using as blocks and set them in front of you. And then take a step forward with your left foot, bringing it in between the two blocks, closer to the one on the left. From here, press your hips forward so that your knee winds up over your ankle. So you'll get a stretch in the front of your right hip. And then begin to rock a little bit forward and back. Gently opening up the front of your hip, the back of your extending leg. Couple here. And again, if you are on your knees, please make sure there's something underneath them. It could even be a bolster or cushion to make this more comfortable. The next time that you come forward, pause here and stay, or try bringing your left hand to your left knee and maybe both hands, and maybe one hand comes up and maybe both come up, coming into a knee down Anjali Asana. Inhale and open up, and exhale, hands to blocks. Beautiful. One more time, we're going to come forward, hand to knee for support. Inhale up, stay here, or bring your right hand forward, left hand back, and come into a twist. Inhale up through center, exhale, hands to blocks, and we'll switch sides. Whoops, there we go. Stepping forward with the right, hands on your blocks. Begin to rock forward and back. The forward position is knee over ankle, right? So we're not going to rock forward so much that you come past your toes and your heel comes up. That's less safe for your knee. So come just to knee over ankle. And the next time that you come forward, pause here. Bring one hand to your knee, maybe the other one. Stay here or raise one or both arms. Inhale and open up. Exhale and release, hands down. Press forward one more time, hand to knee for support. Maybe one or both arms come up. Big inhale here. This time, the left arm is going to come forward. The right arm comes back. Turn over that bent knee. Inhale back up and exhale, hands to blocks. This time we're going to curl our back knee under and press back into a lunge, a high lunge. Carefully step your back foot forward until it meets your other foot. Long spine, bent knees, and then walk your hands up to come up to standing. Okay, how did we do? Everybody do okay with that knee down sequence? We used to do it a lot, and I know it can be hard on the knees. So best to do what works best for you, but if it's something that you can bring into your practice, it can be very helpful. Okay, so take a moment to find your Tadasana. Your feet will be hip distance apart, hip joint, right? So that the leg is coming straight down from the hips. Bring your hands to the top of your hips and begin to carefully rock forward and back, shifting your weight between your heels and the balls of your feet. Got my tea. And then find a place where you feel balanced front to back so that your weight is equally distributed on the different parts of your feet. Some people say the four corners of your feet. I don't know if feet have corners, but maybe the three parts, big toe mound, little toe mound, center of the heel on each foot. Rock side to side so that your balance is centered between your feet. Bend your knees and roll your hips around a little bit. Yeah, feel the hips moving in the hip sockets. Reverse direction and roll. Yeah, good. And then come to center with your knees bent. See if you can press your pelvis forward and then press your bottom back. So we're kind of doing a standing cat-cow or pelvic tilt. And then come to the place in between these two movements, right? So that you're not here, but you're also not here. So somewhere in between those movements is neutral pelvis. So see if you can find that now, and then press into your feet to stand up tall, and see if you can hold on to your neutral pelvis with your legs extended. If not, bend your knees again, find it, and then try to keep that position, not forcing it, but just with awareness as you press into your feet and stand up tall. Let's inhale and reach our arms up. Exhale and reach them down. Take a step out, one footprint each. And we'll do that again. Inhale, arms up. Bring your hands together if that's comfortable. Interlace your fingers and release your index finger. And then maybe press up towards the ceiling. Inhale here, and then exhale, press your right hip away and come up and over to the left. If it's too much, lower your hand to your hip or both hands, right? Please take care of yourself, finding a side bend. Inhale through center, and then press the hip away and come up and over to the other side. Try to stay, inhale through center, in one plane of motion. So you're not dropping forward or backwards. You're coming directly over to the side. Notice how your weight shifts in your feet and see if you can try to keep it balanced in both feet. And then inhale to center. Keep your hands interlaced, your fingers interlaced, and bring your hands down. Walk your feet in a little more. Beautiful. Now, bring elbows a little more towards each other if that's comfortable. And see if you can start to circle your wrists. It's almost like one hand circles the other. And don't try to keep your arms stuck together, right? They move apart. Rolling through your wrists. See if you can go the other way. We usually pick the easier direction, so the second time is a little harder. And then come to stillness. With your fingers still interlaced, hands at about shoulder level, turn your palms away from you and press them forward, stretching through your fingers and hands. Inhale and raise your arms up. Exhale, bend your elbows and let your knuckles come to the crown. Inhale, press up and away. Release your hands and slowly exhale, releasing them down. Bring them together, interlaced the opposite way. So the different thumb is on top. I've heard people describe this as holding your own hand. I think our mutual teacher, Trey, sometimes says that. I think it's funny. So interlacing with the opposite interlace and press your hands away. It should feel a little different. Inhale and raise arms up, pressing away overhead. And that can be wherever works for you, and elbows can stay bent. Exhale and bend them a lot, bringing your knuckles to the crown of your head. Inhale, press away. Exhale, release your fingers and float the arms down. And go ahead and shake out. Take a sip of water or tea if you need to, and we will continue. So we're going to work with something called step backs. And we'll be using our blocks to do that. So if you don't have yoga blocks, I said this at the top of the practice, that if you invest in one yoga prop, get some nice soft foam blocks. You can get them at Target, you can get them on Amazon. It's worth having at least one set, if not two sets, so 4 total blocks. So bring your blocks in front of you and have whatever you like to use for your knee pad, maybe something like this or a folded blanket, and have that available as well. So we're going to, I'll show you first. In a moment, we'll inhale up and come forward with a flat back. I'm bending my knees and my hands are going to come to my blocks. Yeah, this is kind of in the wrong spot. Let's do it like that. There we go. That makes more sense. Then I'm going to step one foot back, finding that high lunge, and then slowly lower my knee. Okay? So I will talk you through it. I'm going to turn on the diagonal so you can see me a little better. So find your Tadasana, blocks in front of you. Inhale up. Exhale, come forward with a flat back. Let your knees bend. Hands to your blocks. If you don't have blocks, then use good strong cushions or, I don't know, fat paper towel rolls. Step your left foot back and find your high lunge. So my knee is bent over my ankle. My other foot is pressing back behind me. I have changed my mind. I don't want to drop my knee, although I guess that's an option. So the mat is there for the option. Now, you may stay here. You may drop your knee if that feels more secure, or bring your right hand to your right knee And then bring your left hand to your right knee. You may stay there or walk one or both arms up, coming into a crescent lunge or a crescent warrior. So my front knee is bent over my ankle. My back foot is pressing back. I'm on the ball of my foot. My feet are railroad track, hip distance apart, right? Not a balance beam. Take one more breath, and then bring your hands down. Carefully step your foot forward, and let's go ahead and come up. Okay, now we're going to do it again on the other side. Inhale up, exhale, come forward. So sending your tailbone behind you, knees bend, see how straight my back is. Step back with your right foot, pressing back through your heel. Stay here. You could drop the knee and do the sequence, or stay up and then bring one hand to your knee and then the other. Maybe you stay right here, or bring one or both arms up. Find your balance. Find your strength. One more breath, and then exhale, hands down, and carefully step up. And maybe you can walk your hands up. Okay, how are we doing? Everybody okay? Yeah, I'm seeing a couple of thumbs up. Good. If not, please opt out or sit down and rest, watch, try it with your knees down. We're going to do it one more time. Inhale up. Exhale, coming forward. Bend your knees, hands to your blocks. Step back left. Stay here or drop your knee. If you're staying up or if your knee is down, one hand to your knee, maybe two. Maybe one arm comes up, maybe both. Brilliant. Stay here. Inhale up, or exhale, bring your left hand forward and your right hand back, coming into a twist. Yes, this requires balance. Inhale up and exhale, hands to blocks. Find your lunge and then step forward. Walk up. Very last one. Ready? If you're not, take a breather. And then we'll finish this challenging sequence together. Inhale up. Exhale forward. Step back right. Maybe the knee comes down. Hand to your knee, other hand to your knee. One or both arms up. Big breath in. Exhale, right hand forward, left hand back, twist to the bent knee side. Inhale up. Exhale, hands to blocks. And then this time, bring your knee down and your other knee. Walk your feet to one side and sit to the other. Woo! Beautiful, beautiful work. I was taking my teacher at her word that we need an active practice. So we get a little sweat going, we move, but hopefully not so much that it causes discomfort. So please know your limits. Go to the version before, opt out if it's too much, and just rest and then pick it back up when we come to something that's comfortable for you. So coming into bound angle pose, feet together, knees apart. Notice if you're wanting to roll back onto your tailbone, and that's your cue to sit up on something. Could be a bolster like this, or a pillow, or a folded blanket. Sitting up on the edge. And try again. Soles of feet together, sitting up tall. If you need extra support, You've got your blocks or cushions that you can place right underneath your knees so that there's not strain, right? Strain doesn't help us. So hands on your knees or shins or ankles, sitting up nice and tall. Inhale up, reaching through the crown of the head. Exhale and soften in your hips, just a little bit. Inhale, grow tall, find your longest spine. Exhale, soften. Maybe your knees can drop just a half an inch, a quarter of an inch. Inhale, sit up tall. Exhale, soften and release. Last time, inhale up tall. Exhale, soften. Remove your blocks and extend your left leg out. Bring your right foot in towards your inner thigh. Moving my props out of the way. Let's inhale, arms up. Exhale, lower your right hand and lean away from your extended leg. Maybe you flex your foot. Inhale up, lower your left hand to the inside of your leg and come up and over, side bending towards your toes. Imagine you could come far enough to grasp your toes. Some of us can, not me. Inhale up and exhale away. Feel a stretch in your hip and your side body. Inhale up, exhale towards, feel a stretch in your hamstring, your back of your leg. Couple more on this side. And the next time that you come through center, bring your hands behind you and bring one foot out and the other one in. Flex through your foot. Inhale up. Exhale, lower the left hand and lean away from the extended right leg. Inhale up. Lower your hand to the inside for support and then exhale over. Inhale up. Exhale back. Find the right arm positions for you. Inhale up and exhale towards. One more time. Inhale away. Inhale up and then exhale away. Inhale to center and exhale towards. Inhale up, hands behind you. Walk your feet out. Sit up nice and tall, press into your hands and open up your heart. Don't drop your head. You can reach it back, but don't let it fall back. It's not safe. Big breath. And let it go. Slide, if you're sitting on a cushion, go ahead and slide off of it. Keep your hands behind you for support. Bend your knees and bring your feet to the outer edges of your mat. Inhale here and then exhale and gently drop your knees to one side. Inhale up and exhale, drop your knees. Stay with this movement or release your arm as your knees drop and come into a gentle twist. Nice and slow and steady. And this or the next time that you come through center, pause here, extend your feet out in front of you, long legs, your hands can stay behind you for support, little tiny bounces to release in your hips, maybe windshield wipering of your legs, in and out, tiny bounces again. And then slowly make your way on to your back, rolling down and coming to rest on your back. Knees can be bent. Maybe you'd like to draw your knees in, hug them in, or rock a little from side to side. I used to do this movement in my high school dance class. So yes, that far back. So if your legs are up, like mine, we used to do this. We would drop, 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 and then press up. Drop, 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 press up. Try to let go of your feet when you're dropping, then flex. And if this feels good, continue. If it's too much, then just try shaking out your legs. Let them flop around. You can hold on if that feels better. And then last time, knees in, maybe a little rock and roll. And take a moment to see if there's any other posture that your body is calling for. Maybe a bridge or a figure four. Maybe you'd like to bring your legs up the wall. Maybe you'd like to come in to a twist. Take a moment to work to both sides. And if there's nothing that is calling to you, that's perfectly fine too. And then begin to move into your position for Shavasana, rest pose. Maybe that involves your legs up on your couch or chair or up the wall. Maybe just over a bolster or a set of pillows. Maybe you'd like a pillow under your head. Maybe a blanket over your body. Take your time to build your comfortable position for Shavasana. And once you arrive, take a moment to really feel the ground beneath you, feeling the support of the earth, the comforting feeling of gravity holding you in place so you don't spin off into the universe. Earth beneath you, sky above you, gather it in like a blanket and wrap it around you. With each exhale, allow your body to sink a little more into the supports beneath you. With each inhale, open up and let go. Releasing through your toes, your feet and ankles, lower legs, upper legs, hips and low belly, middle belly, center of the heart. Can you let your shoulders drop down towards the ground? Can you release your arms? Maybe palms are up, or maybe elbows are bent and your hands are resting on your belly. Release through your neck and jaw, softening your teeth so they're not clenching. Let your tongue move to the ridge behind your front top teeth. Soften the muscles of your face, relaxing around the eyes and between the eyebrows. Smooth out your forehead, allowing it to soften and expand. reach through the crown of the head, feeling open and spacious. Release, relax, and just let go. Awaken to the mystery of being here and enter the quiet immensity of your own presence. Have joy and peace in the temple of your senses. Receive encouragement when new frontiers beckon. Respond to the call of your gift and the courage to follow its path. Let the flame of anger free you of all falsity. May warmth of heart keep your presence aflame. May anxiety never linger about you. May your outer dignity mirror an inner dignity of soul. Take time to celebrate the quiet miracles that seek no attention. Be consoled in the secret symmetry of your soul. May you experience each day as a sacred gift woven around the heart of wonder. Begin to deepen your breath, bringing small movements into fingers and toes. When you feel ready, roll to one side and pause. And then press into your hands to bring yourself up to sitting, allowing your attention to stay deeply inward for another moment or two. We'll seal our practice with a single chant of Om for the community that we create when we practice together. If you'd like to join, bringing hands to heart center, we'll inhale together. Om Shanti, peace, peace, peace. Namaste. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me and with each other.